If you're between the ages of 55 and 85 and still engaging in certain activities, you might not realize how it could be affecting your body in ways you've never considered before. As we age, our bodies go through various changes, and certain habits we've had for years might not be as harmless as we think. What I'm about to share could open your eyes to some important truths that could impact your health more than you realize. So stay with me through this video, because the information I have for you might just change the way you view your well-being moving forward. You may be wondering, what exactly do I need to know? Well, if you've ever wondered if certain behaviors are a sign of a bigger issue, or if they might be contributing to health concerns you've been ignoring, then this video is for you. It's time to take a deeper look at your body's signals and understand why they matter. Our habits, especially as we get older, deserve more attention. This video could be the start of a health journey you've been missing. So before we dive deeper, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on more important health tips. I'd also love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment down below with your experiences or any questions you might have. Let's get the conversation going, and together we can make sure we're all making the best choices for our health as we age. Doctor's warning: if you're 55 to 85 years old and still masturbating, I'm sorry to tell you 7 things you won't want to hear, but that you absolutely need to know, because the truth is, your body might be telling you something you haven't been able to hear. Stay with me through this, because what I'm about to reveal will open your eyes and maybe even change how you look at your health moving forward. You might be shaking your head right now thinking, what is this guy talking about? Masturbation is natural, it's harmless, it's something I've been doing for years and I feel fine. Why should I worry about it? I get it. It's easy to brush off the idea that something you've done all your life could be impacting your body in ways you don't even realize. But here's the thing. As we get older, the rules change. Our bodies aren't the same as they were when we were younger, and the things that worked for us in our 20s and 30s may no longer be the best choices for our 50s, 60s, or even our 70s. I know that bringing up topics like these can feel uncomfortable. People don't talk much about sexual health as we age, especially when it involves something as personal as masturbation. But this is exactly why I'm here. The fact is, most people don't even realize that certain habits, which might seem harmless at first, could be causing long-term damage to their health. And today, I want to show you how masturbation, a normal part of many people's lives, could be affecting you in ways you didn't expect, especially if you're in that 55 to 85 age group. So stick around, because we're about to dive into a conversation that's far more important than you might think. Let's start with a memory, a flashback to your younger days. Think back to when you were in your 20s or early 30s. Your body was vibrant, full of energy, and it seemed like you could do no wrong. If you wanted to stay up late, have fun, or even indulge in a little self-pleasure, it wasn't a problem. You bounced back quickly from late nights, from physical exertion, and yes, from your sexual habits. You didn't think much about the long-term effects. You were living in the moment, enjoying the rush of life, and everything seemed to come so naturally. Back then, masturbation was just a part of your life. It wasn't something you overthought. It was a quick release, a way to unwind, and sometimes a simple way to feel connected to yourself. Your body responded quickly. Your energy levels were high, and there were no lasting consequences. Everything seemed like it would always be this way. The idea of getting older, feeling different, or even struggling with the things that once felt easy seemed so far away. And you couldn't imagine that the habits you indulged in back then would have any kind of negative impact later in life. But now let's fast forward a few decades. You've gotten older. Maybe you're in your 50s, 60s, or even 70s now. And things aren't quite the same, are they? You've probably noticed changes, some subtle, some more pronounced. Perhaps your energy isn't what it used to be. Maybe you don't bounce back from stress, lack of sleep, or a heavy meal as easily as you did when you were younger. And when it comes to sex, or even just your physical responses to intimacy, it's not quite as effortless as it once was. You might not have expected it. Heck, you probably didn't even think about it. But the reality is, your body is changing, and it's changing in ways that can affect even the most routine things in life. As we age, the changes aren't always obvious right away. Sure, we notice a few more wrinkles, maybe some aches and pains, but the internal shifts in our bodies can go unnoticed for years. Let me share with you the story of a patient of mine, someone who might remind you of yourself or someone you know. I'll call him Robert. Robert came to see me a few years ago. He was in his late 50s, and like many of us, he thought of himself as fairly healthy. He still exercised regularly, ate a relatively balanced diet, and hadn't experienced any major health issues, at least nothing he couldn't handle. He felt pretty good about where he was in life, but there was something bothering him, something he couldn't quite put his finger on. His energy levels were lower than they used to be. He was having trouble focusing at work, and he noticed that his once strong libido wasn't quite what it used to be. He'd been married for over 30 years, and while he loved his wife deeply, their sexual relationship had grown a bit distant. He thought it was just the natural progression of age, but there was something more going on under the surface. Robert wasn't alone in this. He, like many people in their 50s and beyond, had become accustomed to certain habits that seemed harmless on the surface. One of those habits was masturbation. For him, it was something he had continued throughout his life, a way to unwind, a quick release from the pressures of work and life. But as time went on, Robert noticed that after he masturbated, he didn't feel the same. It wasn't just about the physical act anymore. It was the aftermath. He felt drained, disconnected, even a little low on energy. He came to me seeking advice, not realizing that his long-standing habit was contributing to his physical and emotional decline. After some discussion and testing, we learned that Robert was dealing with a range of issues: lower testosterone levels, weakening pelvic floor muscles, and changes to his cardiovascular health. All of these things were connected to his age, yes, but they were also exacerbated by his regular sexual activity, which was putting unnecessary strain on his body. This wasn't a one-time case. Over the years, I've seen countless men and women in their 50s, 60s, and 70s facing similar issues. They don't think twice about the effect that masturbation might have on their health because it feels so natural, so harmless. But the reality is, as we age, our bodies simply don't respond the way they used to. The very act of self-pleasure can begin to create imbalances that we don't immediately feel, but that can have serious consequences over time. You see, here's the tricky part. When you're younger, your body has a much higher tolerance for physical strain. You can engage in almost any activity without worrying about recovery. But as you age, your body begins to show the wear and tear of all those years. The muscles, tissues, and organs that used to bounce back without issue begin to weaken, especially if you're not careful. For men, the pelvic region, the area responsible for sexual health, is often the first to show signs of wear. As you age, blood flow naturally decreases, and if you're engaging in frequent masturbation, the strain on the pelvic floor muscles and the nerves can accumulate over time. These muscles are responsible for controlling urinary function, sexual performance, and even stability. If these muscles weaken, it can lead to a variety of issues, everything from erectile dysfunction to incontinence. For women, the hormonal changes that come with menopause can have a profound impact on sexual health. Estrogen levels drop, leading to vaginal dryness, decreased libido, and a thinning of the vaginal walls. What once felt good may become uncomfortable or even painful. And like men, excessive stimulation in the absence of proper recovery can weaken the pelvic muscles, leading to pelvic organ prolapse or other related issues. But the emotional toll is often just as significant. As our bodies change, our relationship with our sexuality shifts. We no longer feel the same joy or connection we once did. Masturbation, which was once a simple, carefree act, may begin to feel less fulfilling. For some, it becomes a source of frustration or isolation. For others, it can act as a coping mechanism for stress, loneliness, or even depression. It's easy to dismiss these changes. Most of us don't want to admit that our bodies are aging, but I'm here to tell you that you don't have to ignore the signs. You can do something about it. The first step is understanding what's going on inside your body. And here's the good news. It's not too late to make adjustments. Just because things aren't what they once were doesn't mean you have to accept a decline in your sexual health or overall well-being. There are ways to adapt, to take care of your body, and to still live a full, satisfying life. The key is moderation, awareness, and care.